The Barrie Police Service is reviewing a funding request from Crime Stoppers of Simcoe-Dufferin-Muskoka. Operating since 1987, the program has claimed to have solved thousands of cases and contributed to the seizure of millions of dollars worth of drugs.
Previously, the Barrie Police Department had provided funding for this. The request hadn't come in to the Barrie Police Department for, I think it was 2018. So they've just received a letter requesting funding. And so I believe that they're going to write a report on that as well. But traditionally, it's been the police department that's funded Crime Stoppers, not the City of Barrie.
This matter was discussed during the Barrie City Council's final General Committee and City Council meetings of the year held last week. During these meetings, the Council also addressed the impact of the ongoing postal strike, which has delayed key services such as automated speed enforcement tickets, water bills, and tax bills. To mitigate these delays, options such as courier services and adjusted payment deadlines were explored. Additionally, the city reported a significant increase in resident sign-up for online billing and encouraged further adoption of digital payment options. The council also celebrated the retirement of Dan Bell, Director of Recreation and Cultural Services, recognizing his substantial contributions to community programming and events.
We know access to play, rec center passes, and access to our facilities is really important to residents. I just want to say you had a beautiful hand in making sure access was a priority area.
During the first half of the City Council meeting, the Council discussed budget adjustments and key infrastructure projects for 2025. These included improvements to the Peggy Hill Community Center and the development of a Little Lake Broadwalk. The Council also discussed updates on the Performing Arts Center, fire station developments, and lighting project across various wards. Following is our coverage of the meetings.
First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. For the consent items, I'll read out the title associated with the recommended motions printed on the agenda. Members of General Committee may ask that an item be held to discuss it further. If an item is not held, the motion is deemed to be approved on consent. No further discussion of the item will take place at General Committee, and the recommended motions will go forward to the next City Council meeting for consideration. Okay, before we get into that first item, we're going to go into the report of the Affordability Committee, and that's where the first item comes out of. So I'm going to go to Councillor Nixon. If you can give us a brief summary of the meeting, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. The Affordability Committee met on December 4th, 2024, starting at 6 p.m. Present was all members of the Affordability Committee. We also had 5 councillors, non-committee members, present, and 14 staff members. We had 2 public meetings. One was regarding a zoning bylaw, bylaw amendment, 282 King Street, Ward 7. We had a presentation from Angela Baldwin from Baldwin Planning and Development Consultants. Ms. Baldwin discussed slides concerning following topics: the site application, context, development proposal and surrounding land uses, existing use of lands, land use designation and zoning, draft city bylaw, proposed zoning and development application, and the next steps in the application. Following that, Christian Rampersad, planner in the Development Services Department, provided an update concerning the status of the application. There were no questions by members of committee. We did receive written comments from Electra Utilities and the Nottawasaga Valley Conservation Authority. Excuse me. We also had a presentation regarding zoning bylaw amendment for 127 and 131 Arda Road in Ward 6. Daphne Goxon from Innovative Planning Solutions advised the purpose of the public meeting was to review an application for a zoning bylaw amendment for lands known municipally as 127, 131 Arda Road. Ms. Goxon discussed slides concerning the following issues: the site context of the subject lands and surrounding area uses, existing land use designation and zoning, development concept and site-specific provisions, and neighborhood meeting results, which required studies and policy contacts. Riley Anderson, planner in the Development Services Department, then provided an update concerning the status of the application. Members of committee did ask a number of questions and received responses. We had 3 verbal comments and 2 written comments, one from Enbridge Gas and one from Nancy Koch dated December 4th, 2024. We also had a report of the Heritage Barrie Committee meeting dated November 26, 24, which was received. The Affordability Committee met and also recommended adoption of the following recommendations. One regarding Doors Open Barrie, that staff and economic and creative development and recreation and culture services investigate the feasibility of including Doors Open as a city-initiated event, including integration with Culture Days programming, and report back to Heritage Barrie Committee. The matter was recommended to General Committee for consideration of adoption at tonight's meeting. The meeting was adjourned at 6:41 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Chair Nixon, for that. I was still in the last meeting there. So we're going to move on to AF1, Doors Open Barrie. And that's approved on consent. We'll move to staff reports, LGL 005-24. That too is approved on consent. I'll now go to LGL 006-24.
Hold, please.
That is held by Deputy Mayor Thompson. We're going to go to LGL 007-24. And that is approved on consent. The only item that's held was the confidential proposed or pending disposition of land matter surplus property. And again, that's LGL 006-24. Deputy Mayor Thompson, I believe you have an amendment.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'll put the motion on the floor as printed. My amendment is to motion to add the following language in reference to Appendix C, including further conditions that the agreement of purchase and sale be amended to provide the balance of the purchase price net of deposits and subject to adjustments be paid to the seller on completion by certified check.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I know that was a housekeeping matter. That sounded like an important one. Any other questions or comments with regards to that? Seeing none, all those in favor? The amendment carries on the main motion. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. That brings us to completion with regards to the items that we are going to discuss. So we're going to go on to, past reports of officers and items for discussion, information, items and inquiries. Deputy Mayor Thompson has an inquiry.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. In light of the postal strike, through you to Ms. Cook, with the speed enforcement cameras, people will be receiving tickets and they could possibly be delayed due to the strikes, and then there would be a late fee. I know that there's a provision of 23 days before you send the ticket out, but if it drags on, how would we address any late fees of people, no fault of theirs?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Deputy Mayor Thompson. So under the Highway Traffic Act, with respect to the ASE charges, violations must be mailed, as you said, within 23 days of the violation occurring. We're not at that point quite yet, but we did receive an order of the court from Ontario Justice that extends all deadlines under the Provincial Offences Act for all other payments, suspensions of licenses, dispute of parking tickets to 20 days following the resumption of normal mail service. Unfortunately, this does not apply to ASE charges. So our team, together with our representatives at AMO, are working on alternatives to mailing these notices, including courier service. If they don't get mailed out after the 23 days, we can't, within that 23 days, we wouldn't be able to mail them or provide them. They would just become null.
Okay, and maybe a follow-up, and this may be to finance in regards to water billing And if it drags on longer, I know that the property tax internal payments will be mailed out in January, not knowing how long this could take. Is there some direction for residents worried about this stuff?
Yep, through you, Mayor Nuttall. The tax bills currently have a interim due date of the end of February, last business day of February and last business day of April. We are legislated to have property tax bills out 20 days prior to the due date, so they would need to go out early February. Should the Canada Post strike go on that long, we will be looking at amending the due dates.
Perfect, thank you.
I see Councillor Morales.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. An inquiry inspired by the previous conversation. Ms. James Reed, is there an opportunity that we can leverage this unforeseen situation to getting more people billing online? And what I mean by that is, you know, with COVID was the advancement of online learning, online meetings, et cetera. I see this as an opportunity for us to not just advertise on our social media channels, which I know we already do, but even be more proactive, even having maybe kiosks and staff as appropriate as you have the resources to even be in our rec centers and almost not quite be in people's face, but be very visible, print some banners and say, A, get online, and B, if you're intimidated by it or don't have the experience, like let's help you do it right now. I'm wondering if that's on the radar.
Through you, Mayor, to Councillor Morales, thank you for the inquiry. So we have actually, it was very timely. Ryan just sent me a note. We've seen a 4 times increase in people signing up for e-billing in the last week. So we are seeing that. We are extremely busy at Service Barrie. Our call volume is doubled because people are calling in to check the status of their water bill. And so as people call in, we are trying to help people to sign up, but there are people who don't want to do that. So in terms of committing to having staff at rec centers to do that, we just simply don't have the staff right now to do that. We're just barely kind of managing the interactions. But certainly that is available at barrie.ca/waterbilling. And you can sign up for pre-authorized payments. There's lots of different opportunities for people to pay in other ways. So we always encourage that, but we also have staff helping that through the phones or in person.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I'm just glad that obviously Service Barrie is busy, so it's okay if they're in other rec centers. This is, you know, make a good habit change at this point. So thank you.
Councillor Kungle.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. So through you to Ms. James Reed, and forgive me if I've missed this in some of the communications. I didn't see it noted in circulation list over the past couple of weeks. On the mail out, I'm getting a lot of residents asking about our calendars. I'm assuming that has been held up based on the postal strike. And if so, I've got residents asking if they would be available for pickup, or is there a supply here? Just want to manage expectations if people come in looking to grab them before the holiday break.
Thank you for the inquiry. Yes, the calendars were planned to be mailed next week. So we will have them for next week. We will be issuing a media release. And what we're planning to do is holding the calendars for the mail out to all households until the postal strike is over. However, we will have stocks available at all of our facilities, including Service Barrie and the rec centers, in case someone wants to get it early. And I should note, it is a really important calendar this year because it does highlight all the major changes that are coming in September of 2025 with the carts rolling out. So it will be really important for people to get that. So we will be mailing them when the postal strike is over, but there are opportunities to pick them up starting next week.
And follow up, if I may, I know this is in the circ list to some degree as an update, but wanted to ask from an inquiry, Ms. James Reed, I saw that we've got an extension of the digital residential waterfront parking permit to December 2026. Is there also a mail out that will go sometime in the new year to help people become aware of that? Because I know they're a little bit panicky because it historically was, I believe, end of 2024. So I didn't know if there'd be additional communications or if you're seeing that communication is getting picked up well for residents.
Thank you. Yes, that is something that we have done. There was a memo on the circulation and a press release. We do have a lot of different channels that we're using in terms of radio ads. There's going to be curb signs. We didn't want to cause too much confusion because we didn't want people to think that they had to renew. So it's something that we will look at in terms of mailouts. We often do that within the water bills and stuff once the postal strike is resolved. But it is good news for residents. They don't have to do anything. Their waterfront pass just continues and will not expire until the end of 2026. And that is including for people who didn't sign up electronically themselves. If they came to Service Barrie or went to a rec center and had help doing that, those passes will automatically be extended until the end of 2026.
Great, thank you. A lot of logistics. I appreciate all the organization your team's been doing around these pieces.
Thank you. Any other inquiries? Seeing none, on to announcements. Deputy Mayor?
I have none.
You have none. Over to Councillor Nixon. See, I thought you were a question guy.
We're working on it.
Can I make an announcement? Okay. I just wanted to shout out to the good folks at Sigrid's Bakery at 10 Ross Street here in Barrie, who after 42 years are retiring, and that great bakery will be closing down. I believe it is the end of December. So after being in business since 1983, they are moving on and retiring. So anyone in the area, please pop in, say hello, and on behalf of everyone here, congratulations, best wishes to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other announcements? I'm seeing none. Before I get into the official announcements, there's one with regards to an individual who was sporting the best Christmas sweater last week. And that is, on behalf of City Council, we wanted to congratulate Dan Bell, Director of Rec and Culture Services, on his retirement. Dan's been an exceptional leader for Rec and Culture team during his time at the department, starting with the city as a manager of business services, taking on added responsibilities associated with client services team in the centers, and then moving into the position of director. He's worked closely with the school boards to provide more opportunities for the community to be involved in rec opportunities. His involvement in the Bright Futures Barrie strategy has allowed for many at-risk youth to benefit from programming, services, counseling, and creating opportunities for a better future. He's also supported our arts community as theaters return to live performances, and the planning associated with the Future Performing Arts Centre has continued to unfold. Dan has worked closely with the special events team as they've taken on new events and expanded their roles supporting existing events as they grow. And most importantly, Dan has been a keen supporter of his team through a listening tour, and particularly during challenging circumstances. So on behalf of the City of Barrie, I want to say thank you so much for your service to the community, to the team that you supported internally, and certainly to City Council. And we wish you nothing but the best going forward.
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, if I may just add a note of appreciation, and if you'll indulge me, Dan, just because the work that you've been doing with the Ward 3 East Bayfield Rec Centre through COVID and out of COVID, while we have an amazing team, honestly, it's so lovely the way in which you meet problems with a solution focus. And I know several situations that were a bit sticky that you actually addressed with grace from a lens of equity and really supporting individuals' voices to be heard, especially when families were trying to make sure they kept access to certain services and others are really competing for time in different venues when we saw changes in different sporting systems. So we know access to play, rec center passes, and access to our facilities is really important to residents. And I just want to say you had a beautiful hand in making sure access was a priority area, and I think that was felt across the board. So thank you, and how you dealt with the customer service approach was quite exceptional.
Thank you so much, Councillor Kungle. I'd like to move on to a number of announcements. I'd like to invite members of the public and council to enjoy myself and council at the Mayor's New Year's Eve levy. It's December 31st for a free family skate. There's two locations, the East Bayfield Centre from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the Allendale Rec Centre from 2 to 4. Refreshments and free pizza provided by Domino's will be available. Help support the local downtown Barrie businesses while enjoying 2 hours of on-street parking for free. The initiative runs for the month of December. More information can be found at barrie.ca/parking. The City of Barrie's 2 outdoor rinks are scheduled to open, weather permitting. heavy emphasis on weather permitting. On Saturday, December 21st, the times for skating are 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. daily, 7 days a week. For more information, visit barrie.ca. The City of Barrie's annual countdown is coming at December 31st right here at Barrie City Hall, and it starts at 6 p.m. The downtown countdown begins with some family-friendly activities and finishes the night with the midnight countdown and fireworks. We have Madeline Merlot, who's headlining that, which was an awesome announcement. So, Dan, thank you to you and your team for that. And I don't know how you found him, but one of my high school friends is performing right before that, Kyle Walkup, and that'll be really neat to see. And your family can also check out some kids' activities. Sunshine and Broccoli, I think, is the name, earlier in the evening, and there'll be fireworks for the kids as well as fireworks at midnight for everyone else. The City of Barrie's 2025 waste collection calendar will be available online at barrie.ca/calendar starting next week. Calendars will be mailed out to all Barrie households once the strike is over, as we've already heard. Residents can also pick up their copy starting next week at Service Barrie, in City Hall, Allendale Rec, East Bayfield Rec, Peggy Hill Rec, Parkview Centre, the downtown branch of the library, and the Barrie Landfill and Environmental Centre. On-street overnight parking restrictions are in effect from December 1st until March 31st from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. with the downtown business improvement area. On other streets, it'll be 12:01 a.m. to 7 a.m. and in any hybrid parking lots or waterfront parking areas from 12:01 to 5 a.m. For more information, visit barrie.ca/snow. Before we move on to bylaws, sorry, that's going to be for later in the evening. I just went to the wrong meeting again. Okay, so now that is complete with the announcements, we're going to move into the circulation list. Are there any items from the circulation list that members of committee would like to highlight for December 11th, 2024? Over to you, Councillor Corser. Sorry, Councillor, can you turn your microphone on, please?
Yeah, sorry, a little disemboggled here. So of the circulation list, item C2241211, which would be the Crime Stoppers Simcoe-Dufferin-Muskoka item on that list. So do I put it on the floor? I can't remember what exactly I do for circulation.
Well, you can either refer it to a committee
I would like to refer
or ask questions on. Is this the item with regards to the funding of the? Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think that we were dealing with that at police, was it not? Okay. So just a little bit of context, and am I allowed to give context to this part, Madam Clerk? Okay. Some context. Previously, the Barrie Police Department had provided funding for this. The request hadn't come in to the Barrie Police Department for, I think it was 2018, was it, Deputy Mayor?
So it was, they funded it in 2021, not in 2022.
2021.
In 2021, and then in 2022, the former chief stopped all funding.
Okay, so they've just received a letter requesting funding, and so I believe that they're going to write a report on that as well. But traditionally, it's been the police department that's funded Crime Stoppers, not the City of Barrie.
Well, thank you for that clarification. I did not know.
Yeah, and I didn't know that either. I just, it happened to come up at our police board meeting last week. This also came up at the same time. So I think maybe we should wait to see what the police do, because it's probably more aligned in that area.
Okay, then I'll take back my holding of the circulation list item.
And if it doesn't get dealt with there, then we'll communicate and we can bring it back here in January or February or whatever.
Okay, perfect.
Okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other items on the circ list? Seeing none, that brings us to adjournment. The first item on the agenda we're going to deal with is to welcome back our student mayor, Nyla Francis from Codrington Public School. Nyla will provide her closing remarks on January the 8th. So she'll be joining us for another meeting at the general committee meeting. I actually thought it was quick last week when they said you were starting last week and ending this week. So you'll be like the longest serving student mayor in the city's history. So well done on that. And probably the best too. And I only say probably because I was there once. So we're going to move into the confirmation of the minutes. The first item on the agenda, the minutes of the City Council meeting held on December 4th, 2024 have been circulated. Are there any corrections from members of council? I'm seeing none. We're going to proceed to the, I'm going to, at a later point, ask for a motion to reverse two things, being the presentations and the direct motions, so that we can hear a presentation before the direct motion that I think has been circulated at this point can be heard, because I believe that you'll want to ask questions and receive answers prior to us deliberating on the matter. And I'm going to ask, are there any deputations with regards to 24G259 Doors Open Barrie or 24G261, the waterfront property acquisition in Ward 1 and 2? Those were approved earlier this evening. I'll do a second call because it's on matters we dealt with earlier this evening. Any deputations with regard to the waterfront or Doors Open Barrie? Do a third and final. Any deputations? Okay, seeing none, we'll move past the deputations on committee reports directly into committee reports. Deputy Mayor Thompson, that's yours.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section A of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that Section A of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 is circulated to be received. This is a report of the Finance and Responsible Governance Committee from November 27th. Any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 as circulated be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that Section B of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 is circulated to be adopted. 24G254, Reserve Fund International Relations Committee. 24G255, Community Project Fund submission from Councillor G. Harvey regarding graffiti removal. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motions on the floor? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 as circulated be received. Sorry, Mayor. I'll reintroduce this. There was a correction that needed to be moved. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section C of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 as circulated be adopted.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. Moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, the Section C of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024, as circulated be adopted. This is 24G256, the 2025 Business Plan and Budget, City Operations and Infrastructure Investment Funding portions. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I have an amendment to this section. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that motion 24G256, Section C of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 be amended by adding the following paragraph 8. The capital project PR 1188 Fleet Replacement Program active, page 36 of the capital plan, be increased by $1.6 million in 2025, $2.4 million in 2026, and $2.5 million in 2027, with the entire $6.5 million be funded from the Fleet Management Reserve. And G, the capital project EN 1564 Waterfront Multipurpose Youth Artificial Sports Field, page 79 of the capital plan, be deleted, with identified funds being transferred to the new capital project Downtown Barrie Sports Field and Cadet Parade Grounds to align with motion 24G223 adopted by City Council on October 23, 2024.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that motion 24G256 of Section C of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024 be amended by adding the following to paragraph 8. F. The capital project RP 1188 Fleet Replacement Program, active, page 36 of the capital plan, be increased by $1.6 million in 2025, $2.4 million in 2026, $2.5 million in 2027, with the entire $6.5 million to be funded from the Fleet Management Reserve. G, the capital project EN 1564 Waterfront Multipurpose Youth Artificial Sports Field, page 79 of the capital plan, be deleted with the identified funds being transferred to a new capital project entitled Downtown Barrie Sports Field and Cadet Parading Grounds to align with the motion 24G 223 adopted by City Council on October 23rd, 2024. Are there any comments or questions with regards to the motions? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. On the main motion, are there any comments or questions from members of council with regards to the 2025 budget and business plan? Councillor Harvey.
Yeah, just maybe for the public, obviously we just added another $6.5 million. That was actually just more of a housekeeping due to some oversight earlier on, so to continue with the funding that was actually already pre-approved in the previous budget, so that way people don't think that we've just gone and added another $6.5 million. It was already pre-allocated. But I also would like to thank you, the staff, and everybody that the amount of work that went into this, because I've been here on my second term now, and I can honestly say this was the most streamlined budget process that I've been through, not having to worry about starting at several percent and having to go through things. So I do appreciate the amount of work that you and staff put into this leading up to this even coming to council and to finance committee. And as chair of finance, it's much appreciated. And I think this is one of the good things with some of the provincial changes that we have seen when it comes to being able to get things done much quicker and more streamlined. So thank you. And I don't want to say too much to take your thunder on this, because this is the first mayor's budget. And I think it's shown how effective that it can be, because it came in at a 0% right off the bat, because that was your direction to staff. And there's several key projects that are included in this, and one of them being in my ward that has been asked for by the public since 2019. So on behalf of the Ward 7 residents, thank you for spearheading the fact that we are now going to be looking at adding a splash pad at the Peggy Hill Community Centre, along with included in the budget is also new basketball courts and also new pickleball and tennis courts on the same property. So there's a lot that's going to be happening at the Peggy Hill Community Centre, and I think it's going to serve our residents very well. And I will just leave it at that, because that's the only thing that really focuses on Ward 7, because I don't want to speak for others. So thank you.
Any other comments or questions around? Yep, Councillor Kungle.
Thank you. I might, just because it has been such a streamlined process, take a moment to draw attention. I think, as Councillor Harvey noted, Mayor Nuttall, some pieces that we did add into capital, and in particular for residents of Ward 3 and those that enjoy Little Lake. If you did not catch it, we did look at what's embedded in the motion before you as an addition for funds to really look at a boardwalk for Little Lake, knowing that for years, public safe access to the lake for things like canoeing, kayaking, and bird watching has been requested. That was tied into a Little Lake master plan that didn't move forward. While it is coming back to be looked at, I think this is an acknowledgement that we do want safe access to that beautiful other gem in the city for appropriate use. And so I do appreciate that. That is something that has been heard through residents both across the city that actually come to that area to enjoy that naturalized space. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Are there any other, we do love Little Lake. Are there any other questions or comments with regards to the budget? Councillor Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'd be remiss if I didn't draw attention to the commitment to the Performing Arts Centre. I think, again, on the list of really important pieces of community building infrastructure, the Performing Arts Centre is sat there as something that has been a goal. And since the decision was made not to renovate the fissure, but to actually tear it down, the pressure and the importance only heightened, and also with the changes that Georgian College has to their theater, again, the importance of a performing arts center for our arts community only became that much more important. And so to see, as you know, having been started the theater reserve last term to actually be proactive, to put money aside for something that we really needed. And then as the chair of the Performing Arts Center Task Force, which Councillor Rietman and Deputy Mayor Thompson were a part of as well, it's exciting to see now a commitment to the theater. So it's greatly appreciated for all those who've spent many years advocating, promoting, and supporting the theater. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from members of council? Well, members of council, I just want to say this isn't, the reality is it's not even the mayor's budget. We as a team said where we wanted the budget to go. We talked about projects, and I can say that I didn't dream any of the projects up, right? You gave your feedback. You know, Councillor, there's been a few that have been named here already. The rec center, I know our two South End councillors, Southeast End councillors, who are rec center lists right now, have been pushing very, very, very hard for that. That's in the budget as well. The Fire Station 6, which we know is an important piece of infrastructure for Southeast Barrie, it's in the budget. The movement of the cadets is in the budget. Lighting over in Ward 6 that was requested is in the budget. And that's not because of anything I did. That's because of the advocacy that each of you have put ahead for your community. And there's a plethora of items in the downtown, Councillor Nixon, so I don't want to go through them all because we'll be here for far too long. But your advocacy, I think, is literally going to pay dividends for the community and for your communities and wards you represent. So thank you for the work that you do. But it literally is the hard work of our staff. And we've said this a number of weeks now, and I'm going to say it just again. Craig, Clean, all of the folks in finance, if you can please make sure they all know how thankful we are. And I think that I can speak on your behalf by saying how thankful you are to the rest of those who are involved across the corporation that made this budget work. It came sooner than normal, in a different process than normal, and I think that we had broad buy-in. You don't get a 0% increase on the city operations without broad buy-in, you know. And so I'm excited by this budget. I'm excited by the last two. The amount of infrastructure work that we're getting done, you know, it's a pain in the you-know-what when you're trying to drive down a road that's under construction. But the reality is we have, as a council, as a team with staff, really put a priority on getting infrastructure built and getting those projects, those city building projects done that have been talked about for eons. So thank you so much to our public servants. And CEO Prowse, I know I said this before, but if you can make sure that thanks is spread across to those who don't sit in front of their TVs watching Barrie City Council on Wednesday nights. Okay, any last questions or comments? Or seeing none, I'm going to call the vote on the 2025 business plan and budget. So all those in favor? And it carries unanimously. Yeah, where was Sergio on the recorded vote?
It's funny, Mayor Nuttall, because longtime viewers of council will remember, and I was told this when I came in 10 years ago, that you would call recorded votes on the acceptance of minutes, or just for fun. So I don't live up to your level of recorded votes, but it's a fun time.
There's multiple ways to do a filibuster. Let me put it that way. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section D of General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024, as circulated, be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that Section D of the General Committee Report dated December 4th, 2024, as circulated, be received. This is 24G257, Report of the Affordability Committee dated November 27th, 2024. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries.
Moved by
Deputy Mayor.
myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section A of the General Committee report dated December 11th, 2024 be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that Section A of the General Committee report dated December 11th, 2024 be received. This is 24G258, report of the Affordability Committee dated December 4th, 2024. Any questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section B of the General Committee report dated December 11th, 2024 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that Section B of the General Committee report dated December 11th, 2024 be adopted. 24G259, doors open Barrie. 24G260, proposed or pending disposition of land matter, surplus property LGL 005-24. 24G261, waterfront property acquisitions. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Harvey, that Section C of the General Committee report dated December 11th, 2024 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Harvey, that Section C of the General Committee report dated December 11th, 2024 be adopted. This is 24G262, proposed or pending disposition of land matter, surplus property. Again, it's LGL 006-24. Any questions or comments from members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor? And it carries.
That concludes this update from Barrie City Hall. Stay tuned for another video covering last week's City Council discussion on the Oro Medante annexation. Thank you.